Tonight on CTV News at 6. They're on the picket line. Support workers at Ontario's community colleges are on strike. It was a dark day in America.
Yeah, so I was 15 years old and we were listening to AM radio, and I remember us hearing the news.
U.S. soldiers at 22 Wing North Bay are remembering the terrorist attacks on September 11th. And greater exposure.
There's a number of government contracts that require First Nations to be participating in that.
A new directory to promote Indigenous businesses.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Thursday. Major disruptions last night at Sioux Area Hospital after a fake bomb threat was called in. Police say someone called 911 around 9:15 last night, claiming they had left a bomb at the hospital. Emergency protocols were activated at the hospital, and officers determined the threat was fake. A Toronto man was arrested in North Bay yesterday after police seized more than $15,000 in drugs and cash. The Street Crimes Unit was investigating suspected drug trafficking at a Worthington Street residence, where they found 143 grams of crack cocaine along with other illicit drugs. A 22-year-old faces drug trafficking charges. 3 suspects who committed a robbery last night in Greater Sudbury are still at large. Officers, along with the K9 unit, searched the LaSalle and Atlee area last night, looking for the 3 suspects in a gas station robbery. Police say the suspects stole alcohol from a gas station on LaSalle Boulevard, and one of the individuals showed what was believed to be a gun. All 3 suspects fled the scene before police were called, and the suspects were not located. They are described as youth who were wearing dark clothing at the time of the robbery. Anyone with information should contact police or Crime Stoppers. Highway 63 between North Bay and Timiskaming, Quebec, was closed for several hours last night following a 3-vehicle crash involving a logging truck. OPP say the collision happened between 2 transport trucks and a vehicle shortly after noon, spilling wood across the roadway. Minor injuries were reported. The road reopened shortly after 9 p.m. There's no word yet if charges will be laid. Canada needs to build big, a key promise made by Prime Minister Mark Carney when he was elected. CTV's Abigail Beeman is in Edmonton with the latest.
Mark Carney tried to drive home his message.
It's a single point of contact to get nation-building projects built faster.
Announcing the first 5 projects and more in development, led by a former energy executive at the newly opened Major Projects Office.
To get to one project, one review, one decision in a 2-year time frame will set Canada apart globally.
The Prime Minister acknowledged several are already further along, like LNG and Kitimat. He says in all cases, engagement with Indigenous groups is very advanced, and within 5 years.
Yes, some of those projects, shovels will be in the ground.
But the opposition leader points out no shovels yet.
He's not permitted a single major mine, pipeline, nuclear plant, or anything else. What he's done today is announced that he's going to send an email to an office that isn't even fully staffed up yet, which will one day consider possibly approving 5 projects. This is pathetic.
As for money in a new spend less, invest more environment, the Prime Minister says being more efficient doesn't cost much. It's not clear how much Ottawa will spend otherwise.
We expect with the vast majority of these projects that federal dollars will catalyze many multiples of private dollars.
CTV News asked the Prime Minister what success looks like. He said in part it's about changing attitudes so people believe Canada can build big. The next list of projects, he says, will be out by the Grey Cup. That's November. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Edmonton.
It was surprising to many that the Ring of Fire and other northern projects weren't included in the first phase of Carney's major projects list. Despite that, the province of Ontario is moving ahead with $62 million in infrastructure projects to to provide better access to the precious metals site. Minister of Indigenous Affairs Greg Rickford was in Timmins today and confirmed the project will connect Highway 11 at the south end to Highway 584 at the north. This will be the first segment on the road network to the Ring of Fire to ensure the roads can sustain mining traffic.
The first 5 kilometers off of Highway 11 entering into and through Greenstone is a critical part of the development of the corridor to prosperity. This started actually about a year or so ago when we announced through the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund the McGeesy Plaza, situated right at the corner there of Main Street in Greenstone. This is a First Nations owned and operated businesses. It comprised of 3 to 4 First Nations communities proximal to Greenstone. So what a great way to kick it off.
And Rickford was in Timmins to help promote Indigenous-owned businesses today. CTV's Lydia Chubak. How's that story?
The Northeastern Ontario First Nations Economic Development Summit took place this week at Cedar Meadows Resort in Timmins. The 2-day gathering was an opportunity for strengthening First Nations economic development across Northeastern Ontario. Today, a new initiative that's currently under development was launched. It's a business directory that solely promotes First Nation businesses, and it's a partnership between the province and Chiefs of Ontario.
The business directory is born out of discussions with the Premier, myself, and at the time the Ontario Regional Chiefs to establish a foundation for identifying where First Nations businesses were, who they were, where they were.
Ontario Regional Chief Abram Benedict says a wide range of businesses, big and small, can be found in the directory, from catering to manufacturing to construction to accounting.
There's a number of government contracts that require First Nations to be participating in that. We know that there's a number of businesses that just want to be working with First Nations. Part of larger project development, whether it be government-led or industry-led, is a good initiative under reconciliation, economic reconciliation, and we know that many project development, if they don't have First Nations involved, is not a good thing to be doing.
First Nation-owned businesses throughout the province are invited to register in the directory, and officials say it will go live at the end of the year, and it will be a trusted tool for procurement. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Sunshine today, but unsettled weather is on the way. Time for our first check on those conditions. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
Tony, just for one day on Saturday, 60% chance of showers right across the northeast. Other than that, looking awfully good. Here's a system that's approaching the northeast right now. Precipitation at about 60% according to Environment Canada, which is a pretty good bet. So we'll talk about that. We've got some nice conditions for the current conditions for this evening. A lot of areas experiencing some sunshine, partly cloudy skies. Some areas, they've got some cloud. And of course, we'll get into our 7-day forecast. A great pick of the day. My friend Jackson the dog will be featured a little bit later on. So Tony, stick around. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, your currents. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. It was a crime that happened almost 5 years ago. Still to come on CTV News at 6. A judge sentences a woman for killing a man in Sudbury. But first, we're heading south of North Bay to South River and a live webcam courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 17 Celsius. See the chickens? We'll be back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, a Sudbury woman is going to spend 18 years behind bars before she's eligible for parole in the 2020 murder of an elderly man. The judge in the Felicity Altman second-degree murder trial delivered his sentencing today. It was Boxing Day 2020 when the body of 75-year-old Robert Bob Keskinen was found inside his Kathleen Street apartment. He had been stabbed more than 100 times. The judge said he took Altman's character, the nature of the offense, sentencing from similar cases, and recommendations from the jury into account. Along with her life sentence, Altman has a lifetime ban for weapons, must submit a DNA sample, and have no contact with trial witnesses or the victim's family. TSN insider Chris Johnston is reporting in The Athletic today that the 5 players acquitted in the 2018 sexual assault case in July will be allowed to play in the National Hockey League. After the verdict in July, the NHL said they would not reinstate the players until they'd reviewed the judge's decision, while the Players Association countered that the players had already missed a year of profession play and should be reinstated. The NHL will allow the players to come back starting December 1st. However, they can sign with teams as soon as October 15th and start conditioning with their teams November 15th. Canadian and American military men and women at 22 Wing Canadian Forces Base were marching for 11 hours straight today to remember the victims, the families, and all who were impacted by the September 11th terrorist attacks in the United States. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
As some of the names of the victims are read out,
Luis Alfonso Shimbo.
The Canadian and American flags pass by, carried with pride. 24 years ago, the world fell silent as people were glued to their TVs, watching in horror. Hijacked airplanes slammed into New York's Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and into a Pennsylvania field after the passengers bravely fought the hijackers back.
Yeah, so I was 15 years old and we were listening to the AM radio, and I remember us hearing the news.
Nearly 3,000 people perished, including 24 Canadians and 120 service people.
The acts of service that the first responders, the firefighters, policemen gave, the EMTs as well.
The unprecedented attack strengthened Canada's and the United States' bond. NORAD went through a reckoning. Operation Noble Eagle was born.
The events of 9/11 really solidified the fact that there was a threat from within, and we needed to change the way we do business and really start to look at what is the current threat and how do we defend against it.
Following the attacks, Canadian troops were deployed alongside their American counterparts to Afghanistan to hunt down those who were responsible.
I served the 2nd Battalion, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. I deployed on 3 tours to Afghanistan. The 3 deployments there, the loss of a life, what we were there for, most importantly, I think was a noble cause.
Starting at the crack of dawn today, 22 Wing members ruck marched for 11 hours to raise money for a charity called Tuesday's Children, which supports children and families who are victims of terrorism worldwide.
It's given me a greater appreciation of my life and what I have.
Also a day to remember how so many lives were affected.
Go home every night and hug your loved ones.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Events were held this morning marking the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks, horrific events that changed the world.
David Gregory Arche.
Michael George Oczynski.
Louis Arena.
In downtown New York, people read the names of every victim who perished on September 11th, 2001. Nearly 3,000 people were killed, including 24 Canadians. A service was also held at the Pentagon in Virginia, where U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the crowd.
On that fateful day, savage monsters attacked the very symbols of our civilization. Yet here in Virginia and in New York and in the skies over Pennsylvania, Americans did not hesitate. They stood on their feet and they showed the world that we will never yield, we will never bend, we will never give up, and our great American flag will never, ever fail.
Petty officer, 3rd class.
184 service members and civilians were killed when hijackers steered a jet into the U.S. military headquarters. Another ceremony was held in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to honor the victims on board the hijacked plane that crashed after passengers and crew tried to storm the cockpit. All right, back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Shaping up to be a half-decent night for some. Tony, we've got some cloud cover in some sectors and some sunshine, sun and cloud in others. But first, our forecast radar, we've got the, well, chance of precipitation of 60% coming up on Saturday right across the Northeast. That's about the only day that I can find right now that's going to provide a little rain in our forecast. But right now, our current temperatures, Moosonee with the sun, Cochrane and Timmins with the sun as well, Kapuskasing. Take a look at the temperatures, 10, 13 and 17 in the northeast. Meanwhile, in Chapleau at 16, Wawa 20, mainly cloudy in Sault Ste. Marie at 21, a little warmer there. 21 in Parry Sound, down Highway 69. A nice night there. Meanwhile, in North Bay 17, Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake with cloud cover at 12 and 14. Meanwhile, Greater Sudbury, Nickel Belt 19, Espanola 21, Elliott Lake 20, and Gore Bay 20 on the island right now. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast and our pick of the day coming up, Tony.
Thanks, Rick. The shooter is still on the loose in the U.S. Next on CTV News at 6. Law enforcement is trying to track down the person who killed a right-wing activist. And a group from Ukraine is in Sudbury to give thanks to those at a senior center. A manhunt is underway in the United States trying to find the person who killed Charlie Kirk, a high-profile right-wing activist and key supporter of President Trump. CTV's Joy Melvin reports.
Oh my God. Go, run, run.
Charlie Kirk was taking questions on a Utah college campus about mass shootings when police say a single shot was fired. Authorities say the right-wing commentator and fierce ally of Donald Trump was targeted. The powerful leader of a conservative youth movement shot and killed in full view. The FBI releasing this photo, a person of interest, they say, who appears to be of college age and seemed to blend in with the crowd. Police are also confident they have good video footage of the person they believe to be the shooter.
We were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
The FBI also found what they believe is the murder weapon, a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
There is heartbreak and fury over escalating political violence in this country. The president lashing out last night.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis.
And this morning, marking 24 years after the September 11th terror attacks, the president remembering the young father and husband, awarding Kirk with the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people.
The FBI is offering a reward of $100,000 for any information that will lead to the arrest of Charlie Kirk's killer. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
A group of visitors from Ukraine was in Sudbury today. The men and women were offering their thanks to a senior center for the support received since the war in their home country started 3 years ago. More from CTV's Angela Gemmel.
We wish you freedom and we wish you...
Leadership at the Ukrainian Senior Center accepts a flag signed by the 3 visitors and their interpreter.
It's very important for Ukrainians to know that people in Canada, the diaspora and others are supporting us financially and morally, and it's important for us to see that because it helps us keep up the good fight, and it builds our spirit.
The visit is sponsored by the Ukrainian Credit Union, which wanted to thank organizations across Ontario for donations made to its humanitarian fund to help while Ukraine is in conflict with Russia. Since the war started in 2022, the Senior Center has sent $40,000 to the credit union in humanitarian aid.
They've given like maybe 3 or 4 times what others organizations could have given but haven't, but they give. So these people are amazing, and I felt a complete obligation that we have to come and say thank you personally. He feels honored that he had the opportunity to come and say thank you directly to those people that actually helped.
The visitors enjoyed a lunch and visit with some of the seniors at the home before heading to their next tour location. The visitors say it's important for Canadians to know and understand how serious the fighting is on the front lines.
It's extremely important for us to continue to have Canada's and Canadians' support for this battle because it is not easy, it's very frightening, but we have to do what needs to be done.
Along with the $40,000, the Ukrainian Senior Center in Sudbury has raised $240,000 for other war efforts in Ukraine. Most of that money came through various fundraisers, like the sale of homemade pierogies and cabbage rolls. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Ukrainian military has released a video of what it claims is a drone strike on a Russian vessel in the Black Sea. Ukraine's intelligence says special forces carried out the strike. The agency says the targeted was a ship used for reconnaissance and its electronic warfare systems were damaged. Meantime, a day after Russian drones allegedly bound for Ukrainian targets were shot down over Polish airspace, setting off international condemnation. Poland's president says it was an attempt to test NATO's ability to respond. Russia denies responsibility, saying it had not planned to hit Polish targets and says it will make no further comment. At least 5 people were killed in Gaza City, according to medics, when an Israeli airstrike struck a residential building. People in the war-torn enclave were bombarded with leaflets on Tuesday telling them to get out as Israel was about to, quote, obliterate the area. Israel has said it takes steps to avoid hitting civilians and is seeking to eliminate Hamas militants as the aerial assaults continue to destroy buildings. The Israeli military has released new video claiming to show troop movement in the Gaza Strip. While the offensive presses on, thousands of Palestinian families are packing their belongings and trying to flee Gaza City. They're instructed to move to an already crowded humanitarian zone in the south of the Strip. Many say they will stay, claiming that no place is safe. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, this is the forecast you want to know all about for the next couple of days because we do have some sunshine in the forecast and it's shaping up to be real nice for next week. Forecast radar, the system that's moving into the northeast right now, will bring at least a 60% chance of precipitation come Saturday. That's a pretty good bet according to Environment Canada right now, but that could change. It could change between now and Saturday, but right now it's 60%. Overnight conditions, Greater Sudbury, a few clouds, partly cloudy in the Soo. Timmins a clear. Temiskaming Shores clear and North Bay clear as well. Meanwhile, Moosonee, increasing clouds. Caphurst, a few clouds, clear in Wawa. Gore Bay, partly cloudy, clearing in Parry Sound. Check out these numbers. Sudbury Nickel Belt, here we go. Sun and cloud for tomorrow. Chance of showers on Saturday. And again, here comes the sun. Sunshine Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 23 and 26, 27 by next Wednesday with the sun and cloud. I kid you not. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, here we go. Mainly cloudy for tomorrow, then the chance of showers on Saturday. Then we go sunshine on Sunday, Monday at 24, Tuesday, Wednesday, 27 with the sun and cloud. Of course, they're normal for this time of the year. Around 18 in the Soo and Algoma. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, mainly sunny tomorrow to kickstart your weekend. Chance of showers on Saturday, again at 60%. Sun and cloud Sunday, 21. Bumped up to 25 Monday with the sun. Tuesday, 29. Wednesday, 28 again with the sun and cloud. Normally, you're sitting at 17, so you're laughing with the temperatures and the conditions next week. Okay, let's talk Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Sun and cloud tomorrow at 21. Chance of showers on Saturday. Sunday, sun and cloud. Monday with the sunshine, 22, 25. Then we're into July temperatures here, 28, 29 degrees. Tuesday, Wednesday, sun and cloud, way above normal. Let's have a peek at North Bay and West Nipissing. Sun and cloud tomorrow, 21. Chance of showers on Saturday. Again, at 60%. So again, that chance of showers right now, according to Environment Canada, pretty well across the entire Northeast. So we'll see what happens. Sunday, we've got sun and cloud at 22, 24 Monday, and Tuesday, 25, 26 sun and cloud come Wednesday. And again, your normal for North Bay, West Nipissing, hovering around 17, 18. Let's check out our pick of the day. Lorraine Chenier-Belair, Jackson, my dog Jackson, doing a great job going for a dip in September. in Kanagami. So Jackson, I certainly hope you enjoyed the swim. I know you do, because dogs love to swim. Hey, stick around. Tony has more news coming up after the break.
The contract for 10,000 full-time college support staff expired August 31st. Negotiations had continued until last night, but this morning picket lines formed across colleges in the province. CTV's Madison Merrier has a look at what broke up negotiations.
The provincial government allocated $2.5 billion to the Skills Development Fund. However, the union feels colleges are not getting their fair share of the funding that is going into private institutions, leaving less room for colleges to offer supports they say that students need with limited funds.
One of the things that we're really looking for is really having the employer lobby the Ford government to really issue the funding, release the funding that's owed to our colleges, not to send it to the private sector, but release it to the public schools, so that we can provide education to our students and give them a better future.
Without the funding from the provincial government, then the college can't afford to have some of these services, and that's where things get rolled back. Positions get eliminated, which means that students may not be able to reach out here at the college to get some services.
The amount of money that is invested in the colleges is not a barrier to what these deals are.
The College Employer Council is saying conversations around programming are not yet possible until the union removes 3 of their demands.
The deal that you could guarantee somebody employment for 3 years and have no reduction of staffing for any reason whatsoever is not it's just not something colleges can consider.
That guarantee is one of the 3 items Lloyd refers to as poison pills. The other 2 are a guarantee to not hire contract employees outside of the union and a moratorium on college closures or mergers for the next 3 years. He also spoke about the union's claims that the CEC left the union at the table for 8 hours, saying,
I understand they're telling people we walked away from the table, and it's categorically false. We met with them at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And told them that the offer that they presented had conditions in it that we've been telling them that were not acceptable, and we couldn't have a path forward provided they kept those offers.
With conflicting views on how to move forward, it is unclear when a resolution will be found. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Meanwhile, in Sault Ste. Marie, classes have continued, but dozens of staff and supporters are circling the campus. The striking workers belong to the Ontario Public Service Employees Union. Among those on the line are library technologists, co-op placement coordinators, and staff in disability services, financial aid, and IT. We asked students in the Soo what they think of the job action.
Have the right to strike, everyone they need their support. A lot of the signs I see it say, we're here to support our students, and these are all support staff, so how are they going to support us without getting their own support?
It's like janitors, student success, the library even, so it does affect us with getting books, even cleaning our dorm rooms, just little things. Like I have a learning disability, and it affects me in a way that I can't reach out to some people, and I can't get the communication that I need, so it does kind of suck.
Hopefully the support staff will get what they're asking for, whatever that happens to be. They do really well to guide and support all the students, even the faculty. The faculty probably couldn't do too much without them being able to book all the times and stuff. I just hope they get what they're asking for, even like a mediation of that.
And you can learn more about the college support staff strike on our website at CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. After weeks of waiting, students at Parry Sound High School can finally return to the classroom next week. The Near North District School Board says in its meeting, the town of Parry Sound granted occupancy of the high school to the school board. The release says since then, the administration has been working to get staff and students back into classrooms. The school is ready to welcome students back for in-person learning this Monday. Battery electric vehicles are becoming more common in the mining, industrial, and manufacturing sectors. Today in Sudbury, Workplace Safety North hosted a one-day symposium on BEV safety. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
The symposium brings together industry experts and partners to share insights about the increasing emergence of BEVs.
We started the first one in February of 2020 and every year since, and the topics have changed and evolved, and we're really pleased to see the amount of individuals attending the sessions and the interaction engagements between the attendees and those presenting.
Guest speaker Aidan Robertson from Workplace Safety and Prevention Services reviews BEV hazards as part of his presentation.
Obviously, the electrical power, stored potential energy, the chemicals that make up the composition of the batteries themselves, the electrolytes, the various salts therein, and ultimately the potential for thermal runaway or for venting or for the fire and potential explosion of these.
Jake Hughes attended the symposium. He is the Health and Safety Superintendent at Technica Mining and the chair of the Mining Contractors Safety Association.
With the unknown comes trepidation, right? So the more we explore this together and share our knowledge and experience and how we're implementing this technology into our mines, the better we'll get. The more we'll know, the more more effectively we'll be able to manage the risks.
Another presentation by Valley and Glencore was about a collaboration between the two companies on BEVs. Although they are competitors, they say they are united in safety. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
For the months of July and August, members of Greater Sudbury Police Service launched a high visibility and community outreach initiative downtown. While officials say it was a success, it also shows that arrests won't solve the crisis surrounding the unhoused. CTV's Lindsay Alick has more.
The initiative resulted in over 1,300 focused patrols that led to 129 arrest warrants, 81 charges laid, 10 weapons seized, and $22,000 in illicit drugs.
At the end of the day, when we look at that, the data shows us that arresting individuals in the downtown doesn't solve the problem of homelessness and what's going on in the downtown. So a lot of that comes back to a greater need to work within the community.
Hall says 90% of the individuals he has interacted with during this initiative were respectful and have no problem being asked to leave. They say, "Where do you want me to go?" He says he feels it would be better to have a one-stop shop for all services to prevent loitering.
We have the Samaritan Center in one corner. We have Ontario Works, ODSP over here in the Provincial Tower. We have the Methadone Clinic on Cedar Street. We have some more services up on Elm Street. So if we spread all the services out for these individuals that they need on a day-to-day basis to survive with just the necessities of life, and then we have them wandering in a circle in our downtown core.
While the numbers don't surprise Sudbury's mayor, he says he's happy to see the police taking the situation seriously.
We're hearing this from business owners, individuals as well, that we're seeing an increase. We're not the only ones in the province of Ontario or in Canada. Everybody's seeing an increase, unfortunately, of a bit more of the aggression. And so the fact that we know that we have police here and that they're trying to do their best to keep us safe and to keep our streets as safe as we can, I think that's what people want to see.
Lefebvre says he estimates that the amount of unhoused individuals in Sudbury has grown by over 50% over the summer, with many coming in from other communities to receive services. He says he can't stress enough that the municipality can't do it all on its own, saying that all levels of government need to be part of the solution. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
It's a different kind of setting. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Children at this Montreal hospital are heading back to class in a different kind of atmosphere.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
New data shows trips between Canada and the U.S. were down in August in what Statistics Canada noted was the 7th month in a row of declining travel. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Many Canadians changed their summer vacation plans to avoid crossing the U.S. border and instead opted to spend their tourism dollars in their home country. A Canadian travel survey by Angus Reid, sponsored by Moneris, found 26% of Canadians changed, postponed, or canceled their U.S. travel plans. That was good news for Canadian hotels, restaurants, and other businesses.
Domestic tourism as a spending vehicle to drive the economy is enormous.
The survey found that 30% of Canadians decided to travel to other provinces, while 44% decided to travel within their own province. The shift towards spending tourism dollars domestically helps boost the Canadian economy by millions of dollars a day.
When you think about businesses in Canada and merchants in Canada, tourism is so important to what they do.
Year-over-year interprovincial spending across Canada increased by 5%. The Territories increased 10%, Alberta 9%, and Saskatchewan increased 6%.
This is great news, and we're just very, very thankful to the Canadians who took this step, and they really talked with their actions.
Royal Roads University, a school of tourism and hospitality, says their industry in Canada is thriving with skilled workers needed in many areas. It says the American tourism market has seen a major decline, not just in individual travel, but also for conferences and school trips. Until political tensions with the U.S. eases, it's expected Canadians will continue to explore different regions of the country and spend their money here.
Well done, Canada. Well done for just behaving in a way that just really supports, who we are. We want to really support our local economies, and you saw that this year.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Many Canadians are cooking less and clicking more now that apps like Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, and Uber Eats are literally at our fingertips. CTV's Stephanie Seekos has that story.
More people than ever are choosing delivery over cooking dinner for a variety of reasons.
Just lack of time to actually go out and buy food and cook food, especially if you're working long shifts.
Sometimes it's just quick and convenient, especially with construction going around by my house.
In fact, a new survey finds 1 in 4 Canadians now regularly order through food delivery apps like Uber Eats, DoorDash, or Skip the Dishes.
We've seen more people using these apps compared to, say, 5 years ago. So the level of usage is actually intensifying. It's not slowing down at all.
However, it's a bit of a different story in the Maritimes. While 27.4% of Canadians regularly order through apps, in New Brunswick it's about half as much, with 14.5%. In Nova Scotia, that number is even lower at 12.6%. Prince Edward Island is last on the list at 9.6%. As for why fewer Maritimers may opt for delivery,
I'm not sure these services are as developed as, say, in Quebec or Ontario or even in Alberta or BC. I think it's demographics and the fact that food prices are actually higher in the Atlantic, so people are a little bit more careful with their food budget.
The survey also found more than half of Canadians have either stopped using the apps or never used them to begin with.
I find it's more convenient to order through the app, but I find it's better if I go get it myself.
I don't use food delivery apps. I prefer to pick out stuff myself, and I budget according to what's on sale.
It likely won't come as a surprise. Millennials and Gen Z lead the way when it comes to usage, with about 38% regularly using food delivery apps. Meanwhile, about 1 in 4 Gen X and just over 1 in 10 baby boomers do. Stephanie Seekos, CTV News, Halifax.
For young patients at the Montreal Children's Hospital, it's time to go back to school. The classroom, though, looks a little different. CTV's Swida Razi explains.
I counted how much in the column and how much in the row.
Theodore Moak's favorite subject is math. He says his mind just gets it.
Well, for some reason, I like to play around with numbers.
Normally, he would be doing his math work at school with his friends. But for now, Theodore's classroom is here at the Montreal Children's Hospital. Theodore, who's 11 and a half, has a brain tumor and spends hours at a time at the hospital undergoing treatments.
I sometimes stay between 2 and 4 hours here.
It's far from ideal, but learning helps pass the time. Theodore is one of many young patients being taught by the hospital's on-site teachers. Sometimes they're in a room like this, others, they're by his bedside.
Do you want to do the warm-up?
His teacher, Peter Tatuma, says the job demands a lot of flexibility.
But we try to establish a schedule, and I think it's reassuring, I think, to the kids sometimes that they're not missing out on anything, and the fact that we're here.
Tatuma says class is roughly an hour a day. The lessons follow the curriculum. Theodore's mom says it's a relief.
To have this option here, to have the teacher, and that he's gonna, and because it's a one-on-one, then he can focus also on what is harder for him. So it's a big comfort.
While each lesson helps Theodore stay on track, his family says the treatment will hopefully be completed by the end of the year, which means he'll be heading back to school in January. And although he says he likes the one-on-one attention he gets here, there are some things the hospital just can't replace.
I actually miss my friends and me. I just can't hold it a long time without my friends.
That day can't come soon enough. And when it does, he'll be all up to date on his homework and healthy. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News.
Briefly in sports, the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League's regular season kicks off tonight in Sudbury. The Timmins Rock play the host Cubs at the Countryside Arena. Game time is just after 7 o'clock. A new documentary about the Montreal Expos and the iconic Major League Baseball team's sudden demise is coming to Netflix.
3-2 pitch, a ground ball towards the second baseman, the throw to first, and the Expos are history.
Who killed the Montreal Expos? We'll look at the team's rise and fall, the heartbreak that remains for diehard fans, and try to answer the question, who's to blame? It premieres October 21st. Downton Abbey's grand finale is set to hit theaters tomorrow. Rick Damigella has those stories and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
AWTGG. What does it mean?
Are we the good guys?
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck reunite. The Oscar-winning duo play a pair of Miami cops who stumble upon a massive amount of cash during a raid in The Rip. This is your first look at the crime thriller, which arrives on Netflix in January.
Families like ours must keep moving to survive.
The cast of Downton Abbey bid farewell. The new film Downton Abbey, the grand finale, marks the end of the beloved franchise, which first premiered in 2010. For star Michelle Dockery, it marks the end of an era.
It's been a huge part of my life. I've met my greatest friends over the last 15 years, and I've really enjoyed playing Mary.
Downton Abbey, the grand finale, lands in theaters on Friday.
What else is there that I don't know about?
We got to have each other's backs. Family first.
Patricia Arquette's dramatic new turn. The actress plays a mother trying to hide the crimes of her wealthy brood in Murdoch, Death in the Family. Jason Clarke also stars in the Hulu miniseries, which is based on a true story and premieres October 15th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Canadian shoppers will have the opportunity to access a $500 million settlement related to industry-wide allegations of price fixing on bread. The settlement involves Loblaw Companies Limited and parent company George Weston Limited. To get compensation, eligible Canadian residents who bought bread for personal use between 2001 and 2021 must submit a claim by December 12th of this year. Is the grass any greener? More than half of Canadians seem to think so. A new survey says Canadians are looking at switching from their current lenders, with nearly 80% of people saying credit and lending is critical to achieving their financial goals. It's no wonder why Canadians are thinking of switching. According to a customer survey by Equifax Canada, those under 35 are particularly keen to pick up a new bank, 57% saying they would go with a different financial institution if it helped them build and monitor their credit. 62% of homeowners in that age group say they plan to explore refinancing options when their mortgages come up for renewal. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $12.61, closing the day at $36.33.99 US an ounce. Silver up 41 cents to end the day at 41.56. Copper up a penny A nickel up 2 cents, ending the day at $6.81 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Friday weather.
Well, as far as weather is concerned, Tony, temperatures are going up, and that's a good sign right across northeastern Ontario. Have a look at tomorrow. Sun and cloud, Greater Sudbury 21, Timmins mostly sunny at 20, Sault Ste. Marie 21, mostly cloudy. And again, let's have a peek at what's happening in North Bay 21, sun and cloud, sunshine, Parry Sound, Temiskaming Shores. Sun and cloud, 21. Don't forget, 60% chance of showers across northeastern Ontario. Then it's sunny Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week, warming up as well. Tony?
Thanks for that, Rick. And finally, a place to memorialize and remember past pets has been unveiled in Sault Ste. Marie. 2 years since the idea came to council, a rainbow bridge has been marked by the city. The Hub Trail is a popular spot for Sioux residents to walk their pets. Its newest addition stems from a poem about the loss of those furry friends and them passing over the rainbow bridge. Pet parents now have a place to go to remember the good times and even hang their dog tag for all to see. The bridge dedication idea came from Councillor Angela Caputo, who says representatives of 5 other communities have already reached out with ideas to replicate what has been done in the Sioux.
I think whether or not, you've recently lost a pet, or whether it was 20 years ago that you lost your soul dog, this is a place where you can come and reflect on that. And as I said, sometimes that can feel sad, but I think ultimately behind those tears, there's always bright memories.
A large piece of this was that we reached out to the original author of the poem, and she was just so grateful that people have latched on to this poem of hers. And yeah, she's been a part of this as we've progressed, and I was just in communication with her last night. We're going to send her a copy of the unveiling and some pictures as well.
Multiple city departments were part of the creation of the rainbow display, plaque, and bench. In total, it cost $18,000. What a great idea. Folks, that's our show. Thanks for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.